Greetings to all Southern Cameroonians. Greetings to all Ambazonians. This is King Edrum. The so-called election that was held by President Paul Biya has come and gone. But there's one particular article that caught my attention. This article caught my attention because of the strategy that I noticed that President Paul Biya is using to get a leg over us in this revolution, and which is what many of our so-called Ambazonian leaders are not seeing and they're not using it. 4 years we've been fighting this war. 4 years. ADF should have learned enough of what to be used or utilized in order to fight this war. Dr. Sam Sako, I don't even understand his mindset. The guy has no strategy. He's useless. He's just completely useless in this war. Insignificant in no way whatsoever. But the fact is this: 4 years with our so-called ADF forces and all the other forces that are on ground zero, we should have a roadmap in how we can actually win this revolution. We don't have a roadmap. On top of that, our military forces are not united. They're always working against each other. And working against each other is working against the whole struggle of Amazonia. It's working against the whole idea of fighting this revolution. When you see Southern Cameroonians soldiers fighting each other, it just destroys the morale of the reason why we are fighting this revolution in the first place. Because as a small nation, we should be more united. We should work more unitedly to see our cause come to reality, to see the idea of Amazonia grow. You see, Eric Tato started with this county by county strategy. This county by county strategy has not been utilized in its fullest potential. And I see that, in a way, President Paul Biya and his government are using the county by county strategy to try to have a leg over us, try to win in this war against Ambazonians, against Southern Cameroonians. County by county strategy. When I read this article that was written by Mimi Mefo, where the title of the article is Regional Election Biya affirms bullets mighty over ballots, I noticed something. I noticed how Biya was entering into our counties, to our, so-called division in Cameroon. We call it counties, they call it division. How they went to the headquarters of the division or of the counties to carry out the ballots, to carry out the elections, so-called elections. If our soldiers on ground zero can be united through the cause, for the revolution of Ambazonia, despite what leader they fall, despite the fact that they are under Chowaya, but despite the fact that they are under Dr. Samuel Sako, despite the fact that they are in other groups, so long as they have the idea that they are fighting for Southern Cameroon, for Ambazonia, then this fight against groups, so-called groups, would diminish in a way that we will now have to concentrate on the main enemy. And who is the main enemy? La République du Cameroon is the main enemy. Who is the main enemy? French government, French Cameroon government is the main enemy. Who is the main enemy? Those who are killing Southern Cameroonians, killing Ambazonians, who have militarized the entire Southern Cameroon. Wherever you go, you see but La République military inside Southern Cameroon. That is detrimental to us and detrimental to the success of Southern Cameroon and or Ambazonia rising. So long as the military forces of La République are all over our counties and protecting the so-called councillors, so-called chiefs, so long as they're doing that, it makes it more difficult for us to win this war. But we must win this war so long as we are united, so long as we fight for the flag, not leadership. You see, the leadership in Southern Cameroon and Amazonia is destroying Southern Cameroon. But to say this, though this election, so-called election, went through, it didn't go through so easily because all of the so-called councillors and mayors who went to vote had to be protected heavily. They had to be protected. Most of the representatives of the people can no longer meet and interact with the people they claim to represent. The councillors and traditional rulers who are supposed to be closer to the grassroots are even unable to set foot in their own homes, talk less interaction with the grassroots. Before the election, the councillors were escorted by heavily guarded military to divisional headquarters in Northwest and Southwest. They had to be moved in Northwest and Southwest with heavy military so they can protect their interests. Their interest is not our interest. Their interest is their interest, and their interest goes against our interests, which is why they have to protect their interests with heavy military men. In Kumbu, Bui Division, which is called the Bui County, councils were brought in to Kumbu Council, heavily guarded, and when they voted, after they voted, the military also escorted them. In Donka Mantum, councils were brought in from the west, from Cambe to, for them to come and vote. Councillors were escorted from Bengwin from Bengwin into Momo Division, Fondong in Boi Division, and Jokajukta Division. They were just pretty much using the 14-star strategy, going to our division and the headquarters of our division. This is something that Eric Tato has spoken about. County by county is still the best strategy, and which is what President Paul Biya used to carry out this so-called election. He took the councillors and the chiefs to the headquarters of the county, the headquarters of the division or the division, and carry out the so-called election. So if we can be more united militarily, if our soldiers on ground zero can be more united militarily, and we focus on the 14-star strategy, which was brought by Eric Tata, or county by county through the headquarters of our counties or of the division, we will actually have a better chance to defeating Light Republic Cameroon, because Light Republic Cameroon is using the same strategy. They're using our location, our area, where best to carry out what they need to. But somebody like Dr. Cho Ayabai talks about his block by block, but you don't have blocks inside Southern Cameroon. And even if you do have blocks, you're not trying to look at only one block. You're trying to look at the overall nation. How can you defeat La Republic and protect the people inside Southern Cameroon? Block by block strategy would not help any shit. County by county, which was hijacked by Dr. Samuel Sako, it was hijacked and utilized to extract money, which is why they are the richest group in all these groups that are so-called fighting for Southern Cameroon. So-called. Because if you raise so much money and the money that is supposed to be used for the revolution to support the people on ground zero is not being used for the people, what the fuck are you doing? Honestly. What the fuck are you doing? You just scamming your way through, making money, enjoying yourself. Don't give a damn about the people who are dying. But in Lebialem, in Southwest, well, they couldn't even access that area. Most of the councils and chiefs actually voted in the West region because they couldn't get into Lebialem. Why? Because Lebialem is powerful. They have powerful military, and they have to. And the thing is, if all the counties and the military forces of Ambazonia or Southern Cameroon and our counties, if they don't become stronger to defeat the forces of the Republic within their counties, the chances of us winning La Republic Cameroon gets smaller. County by county is a strategy, but you must enhance it. Pick and choose where you fight so that you could do more damage to the enemy. Attack. When you attack, you plan strategically and surprise them before they know it. You hit them and then you get out. That's guerrilla warfare. You know the area and you're using the area as an upper hand to defeat the enemy who is more stronger. But I don't think Cho Ayaba is doing the right shit. Honestly, I don't think he is. For 4 years, after fighting senior people dying, getting killed, you come up with a lot more better strategy. You're supposed to be the strongest military group in there. But you guys waste your time fighting other groups. Why? Instead of fighting like Republic Cameroon. Same thing with Dr. Samuel Sako, spending more time fighting other groups instead of spending more time fighting La Republic du Cameroon. It's like both of them are more enemies to themselves than to La République du Cameroon, which it shouldn't be so. It shouldn't be so, but that's how they've made it look like. President Paul Biya is using county by county to successfully carry out his so-called election inside southern Cameroon. And you tell me that for 4 years, Dr. Cho Ayaba, Samuel Sako, and the rest of the so-called leaders haven't seen the potential of county by county and how it can be used to demolish and destroy La République du Cameroon. If La République du Cameroon is using county by county, how did they carry out their military forces with those councillors into southern Cameroon? Is through the counties. But because Lebialem has a strong force inside the county of Lebialem, La République du Cameroon could not vote inside Lebialem, but did so in all the other counties. You see, southern Cameroonians, y'all need to wake up, because y'all have bad leaders who are not doing the work for the interests of the people and the interests of the country. People will knock out county by county is sucking money, but that's because there are certain people who have used that agenda to suck money and use it for their own personal gains. But to defeat La République du Cameroon is to make the county stronger, and to make the county stronger, the forces on ground zero in each county must be stronger, well equipped, attack the forces of La République du Cameroon within those counties, and they must work to whatever groups they're in the counties must work together with other groups to defeat the main enemy, and that's the purpose. Is it the reason why when the police in the United States are chasing somebody or trying to arrest somebody, you see so many police officers coming onto one person? Is because group power is more effective that way. It is more effective. They can easily arrest that person when they're structured and they're doing it together, which is why you see many police officers becoming left, right, center. You have nowhere to go. That is the same strategy that Southern Cameroon has to implement, where in one county, multiple groups are working together to eliminate the forces of La République in that county. The more forces of La République you eliminate in that county, the stronger that county gets. If for 4 years we cannot liberate one county, then how many years would it take for us to liberate one in order to liberate 14? How many? I want you guys to think about that. You could see somebody like Tapang Ivo getting on Facebook Live and saying bullshit, yelling, screaming because one councillor was successfully killed in the northern zone, and because no councillor was successfully killed in the southern zone, he thinks the southern zone are not doing enough as compared to the northern zone. But that's not the case. And that, looking at it from that perspective, would not help the situation. What will help the situation is to encourage more soldiers on ground zero to start understanding that they're in this shit together. It's do or die. It's do or die. And if you guys cannot work as a team in your counties to eliminate the forces of La République who are inside your counties, the chances of winning become very slim. And understand this, in order to even win this war, we must be able to take the war across the Mongol, and that has not been done either. They're doing it in a small scale, but it's not enough. As much as we are fighting inside our counties, we must also fight inside La République du Cameroon. That is the only way to destroy the heart of La République du Cameroon. When you attack the heart of La République du Cameroon and hold it and squeeze it, then you see President Paul Biya coming on the discussion table to talk about terms. But so long as you don't have control of like public's heart, you won't have a chance of winning this war. It's as simple as that. You wouldn't have a chance. Eric Taylor gives so many strategy how to you know, to win in this election that happened, but getting one person killed, one councillor killed, over 100 or something, is insignificant. That's not enough casualties to like Republic Cameroon. And even if we killed all those 100 and something councillors and chiefs and whatever, it still won't be enough for us to gain our independence. That's one thing people seem to understand. Don't seem to understand. Arresting and killing all those councillors and chiefs inside Northern Zone and Southern Zone still would not give us independence. What we really need to focus on is making sure Republic of Cameroon does not have easy access into the land of Southern Cameroon and Bazonia. And why do you think they have so much easy access? It's because they have so many military bases inside Southern Cameroon, inside Northern Zone, inside Southern Zone, where they can walk scot-free and nothing is being done to them. So in other words, arresting, killing all those chiefs and fun still will not get you nowhere. You see, the leaders of Southern Cameroon are not thinking big. They're not thinking humongously. They're not thinking mammoth. They're thinking small. Very little. Choayabe has a military group that is strong enough to do damage. But ADF is not doing enough damage because ADF want to be everywhere inside Southern Cameroon. But ADF is not strong enough to be everywhere inside Southern Cameroon. It's not strong enough. But if ADF could concentrate on certain counties and liberate those counties, that will show leadership, especially when you hear three or four counties are liberated. You don't have the forces of La Republic inside any of those counties. You will be able to recruit more soldiers who will fight to liberate other counties. But for 4 years, they didn't do that. They just want to have group politics and group fights to display that they are the most powerful forces inside La Republic, inside Southern Cameroon, which is not true. And our people are dying and will continue to die because we have stupid, ridiculous leaders who do not think outside the box, who do not think bigly, who do not think hugely, who don't think beyond. They don't. And we will not win this war. It's just the truth. We will keep fighting, but the chances of winning are slim. 100 something councillors, funds chiefs, only one we took out. Wake up, Southern Cameroonians. Wake up and see the truth for what it is. else perish. This is King H.